whenever you engage it,
yeah,
it's going to show you, of course, your
where do I
margin
find it
line.
if it's hidden somewhere?
If
Where do I
this
find
is
this whole
hidden,
block? Or it comes up automatically?
It's going to automatically come up.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way to minimize it or hide it.
So the purple line is the
that's basically your hide contour.
hide contour, and the other one?
And this is your margin. The
dark blue is the margin,
the dark blue.
and then the light blue is
basically your cusp. The hide cusp or your cusp.
Okay.
And then the green is your line of fissure.
Groove. Okay.
So whenever you want to manipulate part of the tooth, the part that's in the lighter white is the area that's going to be manipulated whenever you adjust the scale tool. Okay.
Okay.
So, and bear in mind the scale tool is set up.
So if I want to change anything in this blue area,
you would basically
I click on it first.
Right.
Click on the blue area, and then I go to the scale tool and change things.
Right.
And the hands add more material, and the round things down here bring it forward or backwards.
Yeah, this is like from manipulating large areas of the tooth, the scale.
Forward and backwards.
Right. The form is just for very small parts of the tooth.
Okay.
And as you can see with the scale, you can't actually just click on a part of the tooth. You have to utilize your lines of reference to mark this.
Okay, so I have to have the arrow on a line.
Right. So like if I want to
That's
adjust
important.
if I want to adjust the lingual mesial cusp by itself, I would click on this little dot on the cusp line.
All right.
So do you see how it changed, and now the area that's highlighted is basically over that cusp.
Oh, okay.
So if I wanted to bring it more occlusal, then I would go over to the scale, and you can, if you ever have a question on where it's going to move the tooth structure, just leave the cursor on top of the actual button, okay, or the area. So that would move it more buccally. This would move it more lingually.
Got it.
And this is cervical, so that would bring it down, and this is occlusal, so it will bring it up. So watch, whenever I click on the occlusal part, see how it's bringing the tooth structure up. See how it's, because it's making the contact stronger.
Okay.
So you can bring it all the way up. If you hold it down, you saw how much I raised that
pizza.
Right. So it's definitely crushing up against the opposing. Then I'm bringing it down back to cervical. So I'm taking the contacts away. But that's one large group or one large area or quadrant of that tooth. If you look from the side, that's that whole quadrant that it's adjusting. If I wanted to bring that more lingually, since I have that marked, I would click on the lingual position or the lingual color coordinated, and as you can see, whenever I bring it more lingually, it's pulling it the whole quadrant towards the lingual side. And if I want to readjust that, I'm going to push it towards the buccal side. Then I click on the buccal, and it's bringing that material back towards the buccal side.
Gotcha.
So that's if you want to do one quadrant. If you want to do just the full occlusal surface, you have to click somewhere on the green fissure line. As you can see, it highlighted now the occlusal surface.
Okay.
Okay. So if you wanted to, and then if you wanted to move, like just work with the lingual side, the whole half of the lingual side of the tooth, you have to click on the hide contour line on that side. So do you see how now it's highlighted this area on this half?
Yeah, this half right here.
Right.
Got it.
And if you want the actual top part, then you need to click on the line of cusp. So anything that is actually highlighted is what's going to be manipulated when you use the scale tool. You can't use the form tool with the scale tool. You have to use each tool individually.
Okay.
So that's how much.
So if you were using these, you'd click on a line over here, and if you were using this, you'd click on another line over here.
Right. If you were using the form tool, watch whenever I click on form, because you actually have to click on form to engage it. It's going to take those lines away.
Okay.
And then.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So they almost should have separated these right here, this from that.
They should have. It would have made it easier.
It would have made it a little easier.
But that's kind of the concept of clicking on the hide contour line if you want to adjust this whole half or this quadrant of the tooth.
Got it.
As you can see, everything that's white is what's going to be manipulated whenever I adjust on the scale tool. Like if I want to bring this more distally or take away the contact, I've got this area now where I clicked on the hide contour line on the mesial side. This whole area is now highlighted. So if I want to take it more distally, you can see how it's taking the material away, and it's lightening the contact. If I want to bring that back, click on the mesial coordination of the tooth, and it brings the actual contact back. So that's just going to take some practice.
That's
and
fine.
just kind of playing around with that tool. And the form tool, of course, when you click on form, it's going to take the lines away, and you'll have to designate if you want to add, subtract, or polish the tooth. So let's say we want to add. I clicked on add, and I clicked on my scale. Another way to adjust the scale of how much material is going to be manipulated, you can actually put your hand on any part of the tooth and hold down the right click, and if you want to take more material, move the ball up.
Oh, that's a
As you can
good
see,
feature.
As you can see, while I'm doing that, you can put over here. You can put your camera over
So
here.
the yellow is what I'm able to manipulate.
Right, and you move down, and it coordinates with this scale. You
That's
can see the
wonderful.
white line
Yes.
go up and down.
Yeah, I see.
Whenever I move the ball.
True. All right.
So, and you can either do this with two ways. If you want to just take a little bit at a time, put your hand over the area that you want to subtract. Well, actually, I think I have add, so let's say I'm going to subtract this area. Just click once, so you can see, or you can actually maneuver the hand around and hold down the left button, and it takes a lot more material away at one time. You see how I did that? Well, so I've got the hand over, I'm holding down the left button, and I'm moving, and it's actually taking away a lot more tooth structure.
I got it.
That's just a speedier way of doing that. You may feel more comfortable with just clicking one at a time, but you'll eventually start, polishing the whole area, taking more material away quicker. So I'm going to add some of that material back just to show you kind of the strength of contact. See how it just adds a little bit, but if I hold down and move around, it's adding a lot of tooth structure back.
I already have 2 volunteers for the crowns.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let me know. I'll come back up and
Yeah, you just-
I'll assist.
Okay. That's what it is.